Hi folks, Brian here and welcome to my epic Norwegian adventure. I say epic, slight exaggeration, but it was an adventure. Now you join me here, not in Norway, but actually in Jarrow, because I had to turn around just before I got on the ferry to go back and meet my wife to get my chain mount, which is the little bit of plastic that you stick to your helmet, and then you fix your camera to it so you can record stuff like what you're seeing here. Now then, this is me actually boarding a ferry on North Shields, and that's the ferry from North Tyneside across to Rotterdam in the Netherlands. It's one of them things that I hate doing because you never know if you're going to drop your bike, but it's a necessity just to start an adventure anywhere outside of the UK. Obligatory ferry photo there, you've got to do that I think when you're on a ferry. This next picture is actually on the ferry crossing the river Elbe in Germany, because I didn't want to go through the autobahn because it's boring and fast and quite dangerous, to be frank. And this is our first night stop in Germany, a tiny little caravan site which was lovely. However, it was dark when we got there, so we're tired and we got mauled to death by midges, which is again is a little bit shit, but that's what life's like when you're living on the road. I don't know if you can see that, but my tank level, it's now no kilometres. Yep, you heard that right. I actually ran out of fuel trying to get to the ferry on time because we didn't have enough time to stop and refuel the bike. Now this is me riding around the corner up a massive ramp, preparing to do a jump over the ocean into Norway. Or it could be me climbing the ramp to get onto the catamaran, which takes me into Norway. Now we got the catamaran because it was faster. It was like an hour and a half, which is normally 2.5 to 3 hour trip. And we paid about £110, £120, but that did include your dinner and some obligatory pudding. Ladies and gentlemen, pudding! And here's one for the ladies. Steady looker. Calm yourselves down. Second night's campsite was actually in Norway. This is me getting ready for bed. This is a shot of the campsite itself, which as you can see was a lovely spot, but again it was lathered with midges and mosquitoes. So we are on our official first day riding through Norway. Although we got here last night, we didn't get here till late on, so I haven't recorded anything because, to be fair, it was a slog. We just wanted to get here, we were tired, it was dark, so it wouldn't have made the best footage you're ever going to see. However, we've been on the road an hour now, and some of the roads I've ridden are already some of the best I've ever been on. They're stunning. It's exactly what you want. The only caveat to that all is you've got to stay within the speed limit, so you can't really get your knee down. Not that you would driving this beast anyways, because you just end up, dropping your bike if you like. But putting that aside, it's incredible. I've never smiled as much in my life, ever. Now then, bearing in mind this is only day one of riding around Norway. I suppose it's day 1.5 because we did arrive the day before, but it was late on. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying the roads, they're dead. There's no traffic. Everybody seems to stick around where the city centres are, leaving the countryside roads free for us to enjoy ourselves. And I don't mean breaking the law, I just mean making the most of what's out there. Ooh, some more stuff to watch. Stick around and find out. And this is the coffee shop at the top, where we stopped and had a nice cup of coffee. I can never decide whether snappy snaps look very good or not, but I've taken a few anyways, as you can see. There's Richie taking a picture. So if you look down there, you'll see Bry's finger in the top left hand corner because he's an absolute muppet. Where we're camping tonight So this is the famous 27 caves or hairpins or switchbacks, whatever you want to call them, take you down the side of the mountain, down to Lisebotn or Lisebotn, whichever you want to pronounce it, which is where we're camping tonight. Yeah, I can see a bit slippy here. Oh, I've just brought a carrot. That carrot cake's just come back up on us. Second desserts. Nice. I mean, say what you want about views, but look at them views. Look at them. Look at them now. Look at them. We're actually only about 30 seconds away from stopping for the second night, so I'm quite excited at this point because I'm going to meet up with the other lads. A few more photographs of the Lisebotn sign at the top of the mountain. There's the boys when we finally meet up. There is the boys when we finally meet up again, only this time on bikes. There's Bry, that's me, handsome bugger. And there's a Brygod sticker. Everywhere you go, Brygod goes with you. Now, Norway's famous for a few things. Waterfalls, they're spectacular. They're huge, and there's hundreds and thousands of them. In fact, billions. In fact, the place is just one big massive waterfall. But if you like waterfalls, you need to go to Norway. Norway. Secondly, it's also known for its tunnels, in particular ones with blue lights and roundabouts inside. Also, massive bridges, huge bridges. There's lots and lots and lots of bridges that connect the fjords together, because you can't really go around them because it would take too long. So if they haven't built a tunnel or they haven't put a bridge, you're knackered. I mean, Howie, what do you want? Look at that, it's incredible. Yeah, you can't not stop and take pictures of waterfalls. There's just something majestic about them, and there's that many of them, but you still don't get bored. This was actually the first time I got to use the drone on holiday, apart from 10 minutes the week before. So, believe it or not, this is how people live in Norway. It's just clean, it's tidy, there's a real community spirit, which has gone away from the UK, unfortunately. Something that I grew up with, actually. Up in Kiel, you knew your neighbours and you looked after each other, and that's never been forgotten over in the Scandinavian countries. I'm sure they've got the problems as well, but the point I'm making is when you go to another country and you see a different way of life, it's a slower pace. People have got time, people are friendly. That's not to say that, you know, you haven't got that in the UK. It's just lost a lot of the times. And it takes you to get outside your box, if you like, to get you back in touch with reality and, you know, just pleasantries. They've gone. Dickheads. And there's Bry on the road. I actually start appearing just as the drone stops going down. You get to see Bry. That's me, I'm Bry. There I am, bottom right hand corner. Way I. Oh, I am, there again. There's a couple of noobs up there, don't know who they were. Oh, look at her, she was in my house. Get out of my house. There's Bry, way I.